back to Mcoc AlBundyRules. Got a special one for you to help you. People always ask, how do I get better? How do I do things? So here's 10 basic techniques that you can do that can help you fight really good, fight like a legend. So here's five basic defensive ones, including just basic blocking, starting simple, going a little bit to parry, including the masteries, how to evade, and then also some baiting techniques. Then we go ahead and have our five attack techniques going to cover, including maximizing the combos, hit into the block for space, change special into combo, intercepting, and at the end, got a nice long power control demonstration on intercepting, on how you can dominate a fight when you combine these techniques. So make sure you stick through the entire video because you're going to see a lot. Like I said, you're going to start off very basically here, blocking. Although this is a very small part of the video, I can't go over basic techniques without discussing blocking because it is something you will have to do at times, whether by accident, whether you miss a intercept, whether you miss an evade, whatever it is. This is one way to lower the damage you take, as you see much less damage, but you do see decent chunks of damage, especially as you progress to higher content, higher attack. You can't sustain too long with taking a lot of block damage. So what we're seeing here is to help you see why you need to use other techniques. What the next technique two, is pairing. You need this mastery, as you see right there. You need to unlock it, one of the basic ones, unlock it quicker. This is about timing. This is something you learn to do pretty early in the game. Usually if you do have issues, just keep practicing. Just do what I'm doing here, and I'm just sitting there letting them come at me and practicing pairing so you can see the timing right here. I keep my block on open so he comes at me, and then just hit the block a millisecond before, and then with that master, it's also going to get a stun. Parry is great because not only does it take much less damage, we saw I have 3 points in mine. You only need 1 point. I use some attackers that do a lot of parry heavy techniques, so I keep 3 points, but that's my own preference as long as you got one. But parry also increases the stun. So it makes it much easier to go in and attack that individual. This is a very common technique for a lot of fights, at least not stun immune, of course, because you can go ahead and take less damage while opening them up for a nice combo or more, and I'll show other things we can do as well. So these ones not taking damage, those first ones took damage, these ones don't. So here, broke this down by 2, so I got for 3A here is dexterity or evading. So it's kind of similar timing to parry, but this time instead of hitting block right before they make contact, I want to go ahead and swipe left. And then we will see for that dexterity right there. Again, this needed the mastery as well. And I do have this broken down by basic attacks and specials because, frankly, it's night and day between the two based on, of course, the attacker and which attacks you're going. But the best way to start off worrying about basic attacks, get some familiarity. Sometimes I'll just like to let them just keep coming at me and just keep evading. This is also a great way if you are trying to bait specials because for power control, which I'm going to show in a minute. You can't just sit there and keep getting pummeled on with block damage. It's going to hurt. Plus, they're not going to throw their special if you keep blocking, mostly. So this is a great way to help get them to bait, which is going to be a later step coming on up. As you get to higher attacks ratings, the more it does. So now evading specials. So we see the dexterity coming up. Everybody has different specials for the most part. Here's a quick idea on seeing how some you will evade and how the dexterity comes on up. Some might be multi-swipes, some might be different times. Some of those throwing ones be different speeds. So it takes practice. So practice in fights, practice in lower level fights to where it's not going to make a big deal to you if you get hit or not. And the more you practice, the easier it gets, especially if there is a defender who is giving you a really hard time. Just keep dueling them and practice that down. But some of these specials have huge attack damage to you even while you are blocking. So it's very imperative that you do learn how to evade as many of these as humanly possible. Also, those unblockable specials, whether it's because the defender has unblockable like Doom or because of the node. Beating specials, I was talking about this a moment ago. So, for here, this is really one of the most important things to do. I see people complain all the time. Oh, they keep throwing their special threes. Oh, why do they throw their special threes? Why can't I block a special three? My question is, why are you letting them get to a special 3? All right, and no, you don't need power controlled champs. All you need to do is bait. So look at what we're doing here is I'm going to also show about baiting heavies, and this is kind of the opposite what you would do there. For baiting heavies, you want to hold block. This, you want to stay off block. You want to stay open. Look how I'm trying to stay open right there in order to get them to go. And they will keep launching them very frequently. One area that used to just refuse to throw specials was Arena before they switched the AI not too long ago. Frustrated a lot of people. However, under normal gaming content and with some minor fixes to Arena, again, all you got to do, as long as you stay open, look how I'm staying open. I want to give myself some space, especially based on what kind of special I know they're going to throw. So being familiar with the specials is helpful. And then you let them come on out. And then can evade from there. But this is how you keep them from getting for 3 bars of power. If they have an easy to dex S1 but a hard S2, before they get to S2, force it out. So you will see me at a high level of 1 or a high level 2 bars of power stop fighting in order to beat that special out, because I know what special I prefer to dex usually, especially depending on the defender. Beating heavies, very important one to learn as well here. This could be if you're fighting a stun immune champ and you can't parry. This is a good way to get them out. You want to stay close. This is also a really good way. Sometimes you could heavy counter on heavy, so if you don't want to take block damage, it's a good way to attack. Really, if you are holding block and you're somewhat close, generally within striking distance, give or take, so I'll come in there and I will hit into him or hit into the block and stay there. I will then hold block, and most of the time they're going to try to throw the heavy. If they might throw 1 or 2 punches, I take a minor block damage, but most of the time they're going to throw that heavy, as we will see right there. It's just part of how the AI works. They see the heavy, they see the need because I am blocking. The heavy will override and go right through the block, so they're going to want a heavy. So this then opens them up. I can then dex that and then punish them with an attack. It could be a combo, it could be a heavy counter, it could be a lot of things. Now, maximizing your combos. So for maximizing the combos as we go into the offensive ones, most attackers benefit from the medium, light, 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 medium 5-hit combos. But some people just try to use that strategy with everybody and then wonder why they're not too good with some champs, or why some champs aren't doing as good as they hear, because not all champs work best with these 5-hit medium, light, light, light combos. We saw that first one work great. Here is an example of someone who might benefit more from a medium, light, 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 light combo. So still 5 hits, but end with the light, as you're going to get a lot more bleed damage here with Nick Fury ending with the light. So that's one example. There are a ton. Here's another example with Stealthy here. Ending with the light is going to go and activate that. Um, and then if you do it twice, you see that Fury that came on up. Here's somebody who does best not even doing combos at all. Who's someone who benefits on the heavies. Depending on your masteries, you might be able to get a medium and then a heavy in. Here's someone who can do a medium, light, 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 and then heavy. So a heavy after 4 hits. So Doom is great there, as long as that they are not shock immune. And then here we will have Wasp, who can also do the medium, light, 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 heavy. So understand your attackers, understand the best way to get their combos or their hits in. Another one, it sounds simple, but I see people who complain a lot or have issues with getting cornered. You got to manage the field, okay? Field management is essential here. One of the best ways to do that is by hitting into the block. The reason why that's great is it's not going to give them a lot of power. So if you are trying to bait the special, but you keep getting cornered because you're just blocking, but you can't give them much power hitting into the block. It's going to push them to the side. It's going to give you space, keep you from getting cornered, and it's not going to give them much power. So this is great for field management while controlling, not giving them a lot of power. Because if you get cornered and they got a lot of power, it gets much more difficult sometimes for the dexing and evading based on the defender and based on your dex skill. Some of them get some benefits. You see Massacre there hitting into the block and actually get his bat all fire flamey going up, which is a positive thing. Also saw like Corvus can still hit critical. Aegon 2 with certain hit counts hitting into the block, so very good. Technique 8 is chaining a special to the end of combo, so why end at 5 hits when we could get more in there? So you see, it's a matter of time. As soon as I get that 5th hit, immediately launch that special. So we see that going on there. So that's giving me more damage at once. It's making a clean special attack, and it's giving me higher hit combos. So I get 5 hits when you could get 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on what kind it is there. You can even chain it to a heavy, as we saw there. Hyperion will normally spam heavies, so hey, do a heavy. After the first hit, go ahead and launch that special. Nothing wrong with that. So chaining them in to really maximize. Why work to get a clean shot at a special or possibly get it blocked when you can just chain it to your already useful attacks? And we saw some S1s, S2s there. Of course, you can easily chain an S3 to that as well, as we will see right here. Of course, an S3 goes to this animation, so that's the easiest to go ahead and chain because you don't have to worry about it getting blocked. Technique 9 is intercepting, and this is not going to be an in-depth intercepting guide. There's a lot of them out there, but this is going to basically cover. There's all kinds of techniques, fancy things. I'm not going to get into all that crazy, overly over-the-top stuff, but I am going to show you how important is the timing. Basically, they're dashing at you, you attack them, whether it's a dash back at them, if it's a light attack back at them, whether if it's a special attack, you right before they hit you, as we see right there, you attack. So there's many different ways. Feel for yourself. Get practice. Practice on making them come at you. Just hold, stay open, let them dash at you, and then attack. You will see a lot of different things. Sometimes I'll dash back to try to get them to charge at me, backdraft intercept, or all these different ones out there. If you're really practicing, there are parts of the game you have to intercept. The better you're intercepting, the better you can get at this game. And I'm going to show a good highlight on that coming up at the end. But Rhino is one of the best for practicing because he has the unstoppable when he's charging. So here I'm just doing some practicing. And it's okay to hit into the block. And I like using Rhino to practice because of that unstoppable. So if you're a beginner at that, use this. Launching the S1 or S2 when the opponent is about to strike is a good way to intercept. You see I have him charging at me. I have a special on hand. Easy. That's one of the easiest intercepting methods as long as you have the special there. They start running, you launch the special. Easy breezy. That's a good way to practice as well. So multiple ways to intercept. It's about timing. So here I'm going to show you, we're going to combine several of these skills we've seen throughout this video, but give a little highlight reel on how well you can buy when you learn some of these skills and how you can maximize. This is mostly about using intercept along with power control. So what I did here, I got two separate bites here. I just want to show you what you can do with some practice and how dominating these abilities can use. So I went ahead and cornered Winter Soldier against the wall there. I power locked him with Cyclock. If you don't understand what I did and how I power locked him, please watch my 4-minute tutorial on Cyclock. She is, in my opinion, the best power controller in the game. Yeah, some will argue this or that. When you use her correctly, and if you disagree, watch the video, my tutorial on her, then decide for yourself, because I do discuss counter arguments on here. But we can see a good part of my point right here on her power lock. I am just going to town on him. He's gaining 0 power. I power locked him, and all I'm doing is I am constantly intercepting. I'm going between 3 to 4 hits. I dash back forward again. And since he's not gaining power, because it's when he gains power, you gotta be careful about intercepting, because when you go to attack, they can launch a special. If he has no power, he can't do that. So we see I am just going crazy on him right there. So speaking of magic, I want to use her too. Going to do the same thing, can do it with her as well. Any good power lock champ can do this technique pretty much. So with magic, that S2 will power lock. It's not going to stay permanent like Cyclops, so I'm going to have to occasionally do the S2, but the S2 is pretty quick, so as soon as the S2 finishes, I'm ready to hit him right as he gets up. And same thing, 3 or 4 hit combos, dash back, and then charge forward. A lot of the times he'll charge at me and then I intercept. If he's staying there, I might hit into the block, do a few hits, but just keep doing this over and over again. And you can do this all day long pretty much on a lot of these attackers. And we'll see how I'm keeping his power down. I see his power going up again, so I launch that S2. I see him about to get up and I hit him. So do the 4 hits, dash back, he charged at me, intercept is over and over. These skills can help you dominate many different bites. So throughout the video you saw a combination of different things. Practice each of them. I started off simple, blocking, parrying, and worked way up to things like we're seeing right now. So some of these very basic techniques, some take a lot of practice. They're all fairly easy to do, but they're essential if you really want to progress in this game and get good and beat this content. Take these, watch this video, watch it over and over, practice them, watch them, and just do them. The more you do it, the better you get. By taking these 10 tips to heart, you will go far in this game. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful.